Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we have a special treat in store today. We're here with Jenn Grace. How are you, Jenn?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Fantastic. It's great to see you here. You and I typically run into each other at all these NGLCC events and all these various LGBT business event conferences and mixers. And so it's been a while.
It has. COVID has certainly slowed down the social life in that regard. So it's nice
Yeah.
to see you, at least, even if it's virtually.
I agree. When I was first talking to you, I said I really wanted to introduce you as the Renaissance woman, but I decided that that's exactly what we should call you, because you are
Okay.
you're a business leader, you're a published author, and you're a mom. And how you weave all that into a day-to-day life, I have no idea.
You can ask any parent how they're doing it these days, and I feel like there's, dozens of different responses and combinations of what people are actually doing. But for me personally, especially weaving in the fact that my child, it's as we're recording this, in theory, kids should not be home right now. And my child is home. So here we are. But for me, I'm just trying to find other ways to integrate him into my business, which is
Yeah.
actually really interesting because now he respects, hey, I'm doing a live video. I need you to just kind of tone it
Yeah.
down for a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like it because it's just kind of, I can blend all of my passions into one.
And also, he's going to be much more connected in the future when he remembers what his mom does for a living. So that helps too.
We do have this conversation often where I say, when you're 16, we will have no problem finding you a job. It's going to be a matter of what do you want to do and not embarrassing me if I connect you to someone I know.
I love it. But no, I know you've been very instrumental because you're in Hartford, Connecticut area, but you've been very instrumental with the Connecticut LGBT Chamber, the National Gay Chamber, just on a small business and all things business level. You've been very active there in Connecticut, yes?
Yeah. And I actually kind of pivoted my activeness to be more active in the New York area
Oh,
a couple of
wow.
years back. Yeah. So it
Okay.
just, to me, I definitely, having been part of the, formation of the Connecticut LGBT Chamber and then being the executive director for a number of years, I
Yeah.
feel like, all right, I got my network covered here in Connecticut. Let me kind of explore. So I'm a member of the NGLCC New York chapter, whom
Yeah.
I love and adore and feel like they're doing such amazing work, especially through COVID.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll all be able to get together, whether it's New York events that they host or even the national conference that I think it was going to be in Vegas. I don't even know what the plan is right now.
It was supposed to be in Vegas in August, and it would have been my 12th year in a row. And
Wow.
I feel, and I know a number of other folks who've been there forever, it seems, where it just feels like you're missing like an appendage because it's like, it's summer, we're supposed to be in some hot climate mingling, and we're stuck at home.
No. But no, you've got, especially with your what's behind you, Publish Your Purpose Press. But that seems to be like a really strong initiative you've really focused on lately. And tell us about that.
Yeah, so you remember, but your audience may not, but I branded myself as the professional lesbian quite a number of years back.
Yep.
And in the end of 2015, early 2016, I started working with people in a publishing capacity. And then by the middle of 2016, it was like, okay, this is obviously what my calling should be now. And so I really made the pivot away from LGBTQ consulting completely to focus on the publishing. But what's beautiful about it is that so many of the authors that I work with are LGBTQ people and or writing about LGBTQ topics. So it's almost like I get the best of both worlds, and it satisfies my ADD type of brain where I just need to I'm like a constant consumer of information. So
Yeah.
publishing books is like just a beautiful combination of so many things.
But you brought that together with a Facebook group, and then also you do a lot of Facebook Live.
Mhm.
How's that working out for you?
It's actually going really well. On a complete whim, just before COVID started, I decided to create the LGBTQ plus business owners, professionals, and aspiring authors Facebook group. And now we're, I think, over 900 people. And that was in February. And I didn't really have a plan for what I was doing. It's just I talked to a lot of really awesome people. So I'm like, how can I get everyone at least in the same room to
Yes.
know who each other are? Because I just assume, like in your case, Matt, I assume everyone knows who you are. That is not the case.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that, like, if I just casually say like, oh, you need to talk to Matt, and they're like, I'm like, how do you not know who he is? So for me, it's like, how do I kind of just continue to be a connector, which I think does stem from having run an LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. It's like connecting people is just in my bones.
Yes.
So, I kind of did it on a whim, and it's going well. And I'm just trying to figure out, how do I continue to just provide value to people and, do things that people are looking for. But you had also mentioned the live video. So
Yeah.
my good friend Jennifer Brown and I, also on a whim, this is a theme, back in March, we're like, hey, let's do a video and just talk about how we're handling COVID in our businesses. And
Yeah.
it's been like 25 videos later, and we're still going with nice, bringing in guests and having conversations with, what are you doing and how are you handling COVID and what's changed for you these days?
Yeah, that's excellent. But no, you've just, I think one of the big differences that I would also point out that you do with everything that's on, especially on your social media and the group, you're very engaged with your audience. It's not like you just post things and hope for the best. You actually really stimulate the conversation.
I feel like why have an audience of anybody, whether it's 5 people or 5 million people, if you're not going to want to know who they are, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like that, to me, I feel like that's definitely a competitive advantage, if you will, because there's so often in every space, every industry, there's the people who are out there just kind of like shouting out information and could care less what the responses are. And then there are others who are really, interested in kind of curating those conversations and being a resource to people.
Wow. And lastly, you wrote a book.
I did. Yes. It was, it's number 6. So, but this one's my memoir. So that's the scary part. So the other books that I had written were LGBTQ focused, very much writing them. That way I can get paid more to speak and all of the things. But this one is a memoir, and it's exceptionally exposing. So, and so many people that I've been in like business relationships with for like the last decade or 15 years are reading it. And it is very, it's a surreal experience, but I'm very happy that it's out there. That actually, it makes me feel really good that I did it. Would I wanted to do it in a pandemic? Maybe yes, maybe no, but it's here now.
No, actually, I mean, this is a year of change, for better or for worse. And so coming out with something like that, I think it is a really good time, because I know I've not been brave enough to do anything like that. But when people, especially when we have more time to be able to read something like this, I think it's a great opportunity for people to get to know the real you. And that's a positive thing.
Yeah, and all of its messy glory, but to some degree, like I've coached well over 100 authors at this point, or published. I think we just hit the 60 book mark in terms of how many books we've published. I can relate on every single front on the nonfiction side of things. Yeah. Now I got a whole new level of respect for the memoir side of things, having done it myself. So part of it was also like, let me force myself through this experience so that way I can really connect with an author on that really intimate level of, this is what you're in for. And it's not a fun ride the entire time. So, that was also a big driving reason for why I'm like, you know what, I can't ask other people to do it and not have it done myself, not having done it myself.
No, that's wonderful. Well, I look forward to being able to see you and connect with you and hang out with you again in the real world, which we know will happen. We just don't know when.
I know. I'm craving human interaction and all of my fellow LGBTQ folks that are scattered all over the world. And, we're isolated in our, like, at least for me in Hartford, which is, I could be in better places right now.
Hear you. Well, it's wonderful to connect with you, catch up with you. And we're going to make sure all the links to everything that you do on the social front and your website will all be linked from when we post this. And like I said, look forward to being able to see you again soon.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here. Take care.
So good, coming back again.